Hi everyone, welcome again to Bake Your Way Kitchen. Today we're doing yet another recipe, and this is a delicious recipe that we're going to make that can be used in so many ways. And you're actually going to see I have a little bit of a surprise. I went to a bakery recently, and they had this very original, delicious dessert, and I'm going to try to duplicate what they did, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. And so the first thing we're going to need to do is a pastry cream. Now, pastry cream is used a lot in pie fillings, used a lot in pastries like Boston cream, like a Boston cream pie or a donut or whatever it is you're making. It's a very rich custard, and the ingredients for it are very simple, and it's very easy to put together. All you're going to need is a little bit of flour, butter, egg yolks, sugar, half and half, and I'll just explain that in a second, vanilla bean paste or vanilla extract, and a touch of salt. All the ingredients amounts are displayed below. So the first thing we need to do is heat up our milk, and this is not half and half, this is half heavy whipping cream, which is a 35% cream with 1% milk. So half a cup of regular milk and half a cup of heavy cream. So I'm going to pour that in a nice, good, heavy saucepan, and we are going to let this come just below a boil. So I'm just going to put this on the stove right now. And while this is coming up to a boil, we can start with the rest of our ingredients. So the first thing we will need to do is get a mixing bowl. Which I apologize, I did not have that right away. And you will need 3 egg yolks. I just put that in there. And your sugar. There we go. And we are going to want to mix until well combined. Alright, so our cream has come to just under boiling point. I hope that you can see that. So this is where you got to be very careful. So what I'm going to do is pour just a touch of this into the egg mixture and beat constantly. And I'll explain in just a second. I'm just going to concentrate on this. Okay? And so I've just added a little bit in, and I'm beating constantly because we do not want the eggs to curdle. What happens is when you put a hot liquid in with the eggs, it can cook if you don't temper it, which is what we're doing. Just beat it well. And then I'm going to add a little bit more and beat very fast. If you do get curdling, you can put this mixture through a sieve after, and I'll explain the time to do that in a little bit. Once you've tempered it for about 30 seconds to a minute of just constantly stirring and just pouring it in gradually, carefully, you'll be okay. There we go. So now we're going to put this back in our saucepan, and we are going to put this on medium heat for about 8 minutes. And the purpose of this is to thicken up. Now that we've added in our flour, it's going to make it's going to make the mixture thicken up as soon as we add it to the heat. So I'm just going to bring this over to the stove. Okay, so I've just brought this to the stove, and I'm going to be stirring this for probably about 8 minutes. You're going to want to stir this very frequently so that your eggs do not cook. You're looking for it to really thicken up, and you'll see it bubble a bit on the top. I'll show you what it looks like once it's there. As you can see, after only about 4 or 5 minutes, this is really thickened up, and you can see it's starting to bubble a little bit. So now we're going to increase the heat, stirring constantly for 1 minute. And I'll show you what that looks like once it's there. So after about a minute, this is what your mixture should look like. So now I'm going to bring it over to finish it up. The mixture has thickened up quite a bit, and all we need to do now is add in our butter and our vanilla bean paste. You can use vanilla extract if you prefer. And I'm just going to show you. Just going to take it out here. But I was using a tablespoon measure to see this. You can see with the vanilla bean paste, you can see the specks of vanilla right there. It's very nice. And you really want to use a good quality vanilla for this. So we want to incorporate this and mix it all together. The butter should melt almost instantly because this cream, the pastry cream, is still obviously, it's still quite warm. And I'm just about there right now. And I forgot to mention, but as you're heating up your custard on the stove, if you prefer, you could use a vanilla pod. Just cut the vanilla pod in half and then put it in with your custard. That absolutely, there's no problem with that. And there you go, you can see our custard with the vanilla bean paste. So this is our final product. So now, what's left there to do? Well, this needs to set in the fridge for at least 2 hours. So what we're going to do now is, well, there's a couple options. You could either put it through a sieve first and do it that way to really make it extra creamy, or you can just immediately put it in the fridge. If your eggs did curdle, you will need to strain it or to sieve it, because it's going to not be very appealing to consume if it's in a condition where, I mean, if there's curdled eggs in it, it's just going to ruin your dessert, of course. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this in a bowl, and I'll show you the next step. Alright, so I did put this through a sieve, and now what we have left to do is cover this and put it in the fridge. So you're going to want to take a piece of saran, go like this, and you're going to want to press it down. Oops. Sticking to the sides of the bowl. Probably could have done this a little differently. But you want it to stick to the top of your pastry cream. And the reason why is because if you don't, it's going to form a skin on the top. And, I mean, which simply means you would just need to really work it again to get a smooth consistency. But this prevents it from forming a skin by putting the saran wrap directly on. So now we just need to let this cool completely in the fridge, and then you can use it for anything. You could use it for the recipe I'm going to be showing you in the next couple days, so stay tuned for that. Or you can use it for any recipe you're working on that requires pastry cream. As you can see, it's very easy to put together. Only a handful of ingredients are required. It's absolutely delicious. You can't go wrong. It's foolproof. This makes about 1 cup. It can easily be doubled if you need more pastry cream. It's very rich tasting and delicious. I hope you give it a try for anything you do in your baking. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the fridge, and I will see you in the next video.